Welcome back to the Grey Havens Hour, where Middle-earth's quiet corners and hidden meanings come alive. Today we turn to a figure who walks lightly across Tolkien's pages, and yet leaves a lasting mark. The elf who runs on snow, the prince of the Woodland realm, the companion of a dwarf. At first glance, he seems almost the background character compared to Aragorn, Frodo or Gandalf. And yet, when we look closely, Legolas becomes something more, a bridge between worlds. In this reflection, we'll explore Legolas's Elvish heritage and what it means, what Tolkien himself did and did not say about him, his role in the Fellowship and his unlikely friendship with Gimli, and why his quiet arc captures the fading light of the elves. This is Legolas, the elf between two worlds. Legolas is the son of Thranduil, king of the Woodland realm, the great forest of Mirkwood. Tolkien tells in the appendices that Legolas is Sindarin, but lived among the Silvan Elves. His father's people has settled in Greenland the Great after the ruin of Beleriand, and over time they took on the culture of Sylvan folk. This already makes Legolas unusual. He is a prince, yes, but not of the High Elves. He belongs to the Woodland people, close to the earth, bound to the trees, watchful and wary of strangers. It explains much of his perspective, his sharp eye, his closeness to nature, his caution in trusting others. When we turn to Tolkien's letters, one thing stands out. He rarely spoke about Legolas at all. Unlike Frodo, Sam, or Aragorn, Legolas received little explicit commentary. And yet, the silence tells us something important. In letter 156, Tolkien explains that the Fellowship was meant to be representative. A hobbit, men, a dwarf, and an elf. Legolas is there to embody elvendom itself. He isn't just an individual. He's a representative of his people, their gifts, and their fading presence in Middle-earth. In letter 211, Tolkien describes the different kindreds of elves: Noldor, Sindar, and Silvan. This is where Legolas belongs, Sindarin in blood, but raised among Silvan folk of Mirkwood. Already, he stands at the threshold between Elvish worlds. Later writings, in Unfinished Tales and the appendices, shows his fate. After Aragorn's death, Legolas builds a ship, sails west, and, astonishingly, takes Gimli with him, the first and only dwarf to set foot in Valinor. So while Tolkien never dwells on Legolas's psychology, what he does give us is deliberate. Legolas is less a character study and more a living symbol of the elves' grace, their otherness, and their twilight. With the Fellowship, Legolas's role often feels understated. He has no great speeches like Aragorn. He does not carry the burden of the ring, but what he does bring is vision. Both literally, his keen eyes spot danger far off, and figuratively, as an elvish voice within the group. He is often the one to remind the others of the wider, older world. He speaks of stars, of the forest, of seas he has never seen but feels in his heart. He represents memory, continuity, the long view of an immortal being. And in his actions, he shows something more, the grace and endurance of the elves in their waning days. One of Tolkien's most beautiful subplots is the unlikely friendship between Legolas and Gimli. Elves and dwarves were ancient enemies, divided by mistrust, greed, and bloodshed. And yet, in the Fellowship, two of their children learn to see one another differently. By the end, they are inseparable. Legolas brings Gimli to Fangorn, and Gimli accompanies Legolas into the glittering caves at Anglarond. Each shows the other the beauty of his people. Their bond culminates in the ultimate gift. When Legolas sails west, he takes Gimli with him, As Tolkien notes, it was because of their friendship, and because of Gimli's love for Galadriel. It's one of the greatest reconciliations in Tolkien's legendarium, not through war, but through friendship. Legolas is not Frodo, burdened with the ring. He is not Aragorn, crowned as king. He is something quieter, a thread binding together fading and rising ages. As a Sindarin elf raised among the Silvan, he bridges cultures within Elvendom. As an Elvish voice in the Fellowship, he bridges mortals and immortals. And his friendship with Gimli, he bridges races long sundered. He is not the most developed character in Tolkien's writings, but perhaps that is the point. Legolas is less about inner complexity and more about being a symbol, the presence of the elves in a story where their time is ending. He walks among worlds, and at the end he departs, quietly, beautifully, and carrying with him the last glimmer of elvish twilight. Thank you for joining us at the Greyhaven's Hour. Legolas may not be the loudest voice in Tolkien's world, but his presence is profound. He embodies the fading elves, the healing of old divisions, and the truth that sometimes the quietest figures hold the deepest meaning. If this reflection spoke to you, please like, share and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what has Legolas meant to you. Until next time, walk lightly and keep your eyes on the stars.